All right, so we're going to do another parts video. But first, we're going to look at some cars that we got for sale. So I've got kind of a lot to cover in this video, and I'm going to do a quick overview of some cars that we are considering selling. Not the 71 Roadrunner, not for sale at this time. 69 Roadrunner is not for sale ever, but let's talk about this Super B. So what we have here is a 69 Super B. This car is a really good starting point for, maybe an A12 clone or, any number of other things. This does have a clean title. One common theme that you're going to see as I go through this video, I'm not saying prices in the videos. If you want to contact me about a car, if you see a car or a part or whatever that you want or that you're interested in buying or wanting more information on, you can email me. My email's in the description, and I'll have it in this video over probably a few times. So this car was originally kind of like a brown color, 383 automatic bench seat, column shift, nothing too special, no fender tag, but clean title. Really good starting point, but it needs the typical, quarters, work on the tail panel, and, maybe outer wheel houses and trunk pan, trunk extensions, but really solid car where it matters. The frame rails on this car are amazing. This would be sold as a roller, no engine or trans. There is a 383 in it, but I'd like to keep that. So it doesn't run, doesn't drive, doesn't have any of that stuff going on. It's just an engine in there that I'd like to keep. 8 3/4 rear end. So I will leave a link to a video where I did a full in-depth walk around of this car. So that's the Super B, very brief, and I'm going to be very brief with all these cars. So moving on to the next one. Moving on to another 69 B body, here we have a very solid 1969 Roadrunner air conditioning car, numbers matching, 383 and 4-speed. There are a few videos on this car in which I actually fire up the car. It runs, and go through a very in-depth walk around. I do have a clean title for this car. That arrived in the mail shortly after my last video where I mentioned that I was waiting for that. So anyways, you can see the interior is mostly there. Everything. This is an incredibly complete car, but it needs quarters. It needs a trunk pan. It needs some floor pan work. It needs repairs to a front frame rail. You can see right through there. So it needs work. It's a project. 15 grand, take it or leave it. You're not going to find another numbers matching 383 4-speed car for that anywhere. Moving on to another Roadrunner. This was on the channel for a very short period of time, 2 or 3 videos, and nothing really ever happened with this car. This car was dubbed the OffRoad Runner because I put those tires on there and was going to kind of just cobble the thing together. I still might do something with it. I might not. QQ1 blue air conditioning car, no engine or trans, but it was a factory air conditioning car with a post, which is kind of interesting. Bench seat, column shift, blue on blue, needs rear frame rail work, needs quarters, needs trunk, needs some body panels. Typical project car. This car would be in the neighborhood, depending on parts, and I'm going to be very specific about this. Depending on parts, I've got a 383, I've got a Roadrunner hood, I've got all kinds of different stuff that's potentially for the car. But it would be around 4,500, maybe less, maybe more, depending on parts. So another Roadrunner, reasonably priced, I'd say. So once again, my email will be in this video several times and in the description of the video. And I'll probably put it in a comment and pin it to the top. So if anybody needs to contact me, that's how. And another B-body, another 68. This is a 1968 Coronet RT, as you can see by the fender badge there. Very, very interesting car. factory red with black interior, bucket seat console, 440 automatic. I do have all the metal that needs to be replaced on this car pretty much, which it does need a lot. It needs the rear frame rails. It basically needs from there back, you know. It needs wheelhouses, quarter panels, tail panel areas, trunk pan. I even have a nice trunk lid for it. So I have the pieces to make it work. I have a date correct 1968 HP 440 and the matching transmission. It's not a numbers matching car, but I have everything to make it as close as possible. So Rio RT, clean title, fender tag, everything. Factory red car. So I have all the metal. The car as a total would be about 18 or so. So email me if you're interested. Let me know. If not, have fun trying to find another one, I guess. Moving on to something a little bit differently here. We're done with the B bodies now, but I have an E body there. Well, part of one at least. This is a car that somebody was cutting up to make a former drag car, or make a drag car out of, and the guy that was doing it unfortunately passed away. But clean title, 383 car, 1970 Challenger. Really good starting point. It needs metal. It needs a lot of metal. And what you see is what I have almost. I mean, I have the suspension for it and a few interior parts in the dash frame, but that's kind of what I got. And the price is very much reflecting of that. $3,500. Come get it. Clean title. It's all yours. Build whatever the heck you want out of it. And then, moving on into here, and many of you know about this car. This car is not for sale. That's my 66 Belvedere. But that is a 1971 Challenger. It's missing a hood and a fender. Well, I have a hood. But it's basically everything to put together a rolling shell. It does need rust repair. I have a brand new from AMD floor pan. I have the quarter panel to fix the rust on the other side. I have several videos on this car. They're very old videos. They're not good, but if you want to see a better presentation of the car, you can check out some of that stuff. But message me, or if you send me a message through Facebook, through my page on Facebook, through anything, let me know if you're interested in something like this. Bigger project, but I've got the K member and everything. I've got the rear end. I've got the doors. I've got one fender. I actually have two of them. Two 1971 grills, which if anybody knows anything about Challengers, they're almost impossible to find. So email me. But that's it for the cars. Let's go talk about some parts. We're in the upstairs of the barn. A lot of you guys have seen videos done up here about parts. So let's do a quick little walk around and talk about them. All right, so we'll start at the front of the barn and move back. So first of all, if anybody's interested in parts, I will have a link to our eBay page, which is probably not going to be up forever. So I'd really like to get into selling things more directly to people. Do direct business through PayPal. I'll send you a tracking number. I'll ship whatever you want. So we got E-body parts. We got rally stuff. We got non-rally stuff. We got some Charger headlight doors. We got older stuff, 62 through 5 stuff. That stuff's real cheap. Anybody looking for that stuff, I'll give you a heck of a deal on that, because it's just not what we focus on. More E-body stuff down there. Air cleaners, all kinds of stuff. There's dash parts, all kinds of dash parts. Ashtrays, glove box doors, and a bunch of taillights, you name it. I'll leave a link to probably my most viewed video in a long time, a different Mopar parts video, and I'll put that in there as well. But you see something, you email me, and we'll talk. So there's just all kinds of different stuff here. Moving on to this part of the barn. We got all kinds of little chrome pieces up top, gas flip top gas caps, emblems, all kinds of stuff. Bunch of dash parts here, a bunch of small lights, a whole pile of different latch mechanisms, some headlight bezels, some more dash bezels, some pulleys, just all kinds of different stuff. Up top, we got a bunch of early style grills, 62 grills, 60, I think one of them's a 63. And over on that side, there's a 64 Dodge grill up there while I'm talking about that kind of stuff. A couple different grills hanging up. Excuse me. Bunch of different headlight bezels, couple valve covers. Pretty much all headlight bezels here, all kinds of different stuff. We do mostly B-body stuff. We don't really mess around with A-body stuff that much, just because they don't hold the value that a B-body does. But bunch of different taillights, all kinds of stuff. CUDA taillights, Coronet taillights, Super V stuff, Roadrunner stuff, GTX stuff. Even have GTX specific 69 taillights. All kinds of different stuff. You see something you want, or you see something you need, or if there's things that you see, or excuse me, things that you need that you don't see, shoot me a message, because this is just a brief sampling of what we have going on over here. We have over 1,500 items online on eBay, and I would much rather sell them direct to somebody than go through the eBay fees. So if you want something, and if it's on eBay, I don't care. I'll take it down and I'll give you a discount well beyond whatever eBay says. So my email is in the video and in the description and in the comments. So you need something, tell me. I'll try to find it and I'll try to help you out. So this is just a brief overview of the parts. Like I said, over 1,500 items online and over almost $140,000 worth of inventory. And that's not everything we have. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot to see. Too much for one video. It's too much for 10 videos. So anyways, figure I bring over to this other side. It's way too dark to see on video. But a bunch of bracket style stuff here, a bunch of marker lights here, a bunch of different stuff. There's a whole pile of mirrors, a bunch of stuff like that. So anyways, that's a brief overview of the cars, brief overview of the parts, and there's a whole lot more stuff coming to the channel. There's a whole lot more stuff happening. Definitely consider liking, subscribing, that stuff. I really appreciate everybody that does, but I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.